Prom night at Lincoln High wasn't just a social event, it was a battlefield of status, glam, and legacy. Every student knew it. Every hallway echo, every whispered secret in the weeks leading up to it, had revolved around one question: who was going to own the night? From the outside, the school gymnasium gave little clue to the magic brewing within. But step inside, and it was like walking into a fantasy. String lights draped like constellations above, casting a soft golden glow over the dance floor. Gold and white fabric cascaded from the ceiling in elegant waves. Crystalled centerpieces on every table reflected flickers of light like fireflies. The DJ booth pulsed with color, pumping out a hypnotic blend of modern hits and throwback bang. Tonight, even the beat had a heartbeat, and amid it all, Zariah Lane stepped in alone, glowing and unbothered. She didn't need a date or a designer label to validate her. Her silver dress, shimmering like moonlight, had once sat forgotten on a thrift store rack. But after hours at her sewing machine, a few YouTube tutorials, and a little help from her Aunt Ria's fashion sense, it now moved like liquid metal with every graceful step she took. Her makeup was soft but bold, a statement of quiet confidence, and her hair, coiled in natural curls and dotted with sparkling pins, crowned her like royalty. But it wasn't just what Zariah wore that made heads turn, it was how she walked. Calm/poised, powerful. She paused at the entrance, taking it all in. For a moment, she felt like the heroine of her own story, the girl who had stayed in the background for years but was finally stepping into the light. Zariah had spent most of high school on the fringe of social circles. While others chased likes and followers, she filled her sketchbooks with charcoal drawings and poems scrawled in the margins of homework. Raised by her father Derek, a retired Marine, and her sharp-tongued, big-hearted grandma Ruth, she'd grown up on tough love and tighter budgets. Her father taught her discipline, grandma taught her wisdom, and both taught her never to be afraid of her own voice. Still, being different came at a cost. She didn't wear the right brands, didn't attend every party, didn't pretend to be impressed by fake smiles or hallway gossip. She wasn't invisible, but she wasn't embraced either. That didn't matter now. Tonight, Zariah had come to feel something: freedom maybe, or just joy. She found her best friend Tyra near the punch bowl, dancing to SZA and grinning wide. "Girl, you look like a whole galaxy," Tyra squealed, pulling her into a hug. Zariah laughed. "I look like a busted disco ball," she teased. "Yeah, well, you're the finest disco ball here." The two swayed together, laughing as they danced, unaware that a storm was beginning to brew on the other side of the gym, because he had seen her. Blake Remington, star quarterback, prom king nominee, poster boy for charm laced with poison. Tall, tan, and textbook handsome, Blake wasn't just a jock, he was a brand. His Instagram verified, his reputation legendary. But beneath the surface of trophies and Letterman jackets lay a hunger for dominance. He didn't like being challenged. He hated being ignored, and right now Zariah Lane was doing exactly that. She seriously showed up in that, Blake muttered, sneering from the sidelines with his ever-present entourage: Brett, Corey, and Lexi. They all dressed like they'd stepped off the cover of a prom magazine, and they watched Blake like disciples, awaiting divine command. Corey chuckled. "Maybe she's just looking for her Cinderella moment." "More like a pity moment," Lexi added, tossing her platinum curls. "She's trying way too hard." Blake's jaw clenched. There was something about Zariah, something that annoyed him. She didn't look scared, didn't look like she was trying to impress anyone. That kind of self-assurance, that was dangerous in the high school hierarchy. "I'm gonna put her in her place," he said, starting across the gym. Tyra noticed him first, her dancing slowed. "Zariah," she warned, nudging her friend, "don't look now." But the Blake brigade's heading this way. Zariah sighed but didn't move. Let him. Seconds later, Blake stood in front of her, smirk dripping with entitlement. Well, Lane, what is this? Did you crash the party by accident, or did you just want attention?" Zariah blinked, unfazed. "I didn't crash anything. I walked in like everyone else." His smile curled into a sneer. "Yeah, but not everyone belongs. This is prom, not amateur hour." The crowd around them was beginning to notice. Conversations quieted, eyes turned. "Then maybe you're the one at the wrong event," Zariah replied coolly. A tense silence hung in the air. Blake's mask of charm cracked. His hand lashed out, knocking the punch cup in her hand. Red liquid exploded across her dress, bleeding into the silver fabric like war paint. Gasp. Phones came out. Zariah stood still, the cold punch seeping into her skin. Then slowly she looked up. "You done?" she asked. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried like thunder before a storm. But not everyone was ready to let Zariah shine. Blake Remington, the 6'3" golden boy quarterback with perfect teeth and a mean streak, spotted her. His crewther, sons of lawyers and CEOs, smirked behind him as he approached. Well, Blake sneered. "Didn't expect you here. This ain't some art fair." The laughter from his entourage cut through the music like glass. Zariah, sipping fruit punch, raised an eyebrow. "Yeah, I can tell if it was, you wouldn't be allowed in." Gasps rippled. A few heads turned. Blake's smile twisted. "This is prom, sweetheart, not open mic night." He suddenly lunged, forward, knocking her cup into her dress. Crimson liquid spread like a wound across her silver gown. Zariah didn't flinch. Her voice was cold steel wrapped in silk. Are you done? The room froze. Even the music seemed too quiet. Blake leaned in, voice low. What are you gonna do? Cry? Walk out like you always do? But he didn't see her body shift, didn't notice the slight drop of her knees, the angle of her foot. In one swift move, Zariah spun low and kicked Blake's ankle out from under him. The star of the football team hit the polished floor with a thud heard across the gym. Phones rose, flashlights lit up. The room exploded. Yup, she dropped Blake. Her best friend, Tyra, screamed, Zariah, that's my girl. Blake scrambled up, face flushed and furious, but he was met with laughter, camera flashes, and chants of Zariah, Zariah. He stormed out, humiliated by the next morning. The clip had over 700,000 views on TikTok and Instagram. People weren't just talking about her, they were inspired by her. But Blake wasn't done. That night, Zariah got a DM. Blake, meet me at the track, 8 p.m., no crowd, just you and me. She knew it was bait, but she wasn't scared. She laced up her silver sneakers and tied her curls in a tight bun. As she approached the empty field, the moonlight casting long shadows, she saw him and his 3 goons. Blake cracked his knuckles. Thought you were brave. Let's see how long that lasts. But Zariah had trained in kickboxing for years, her dad's idea. I'm not here to talk, she said, in a blur of motion. Zariah took out one thug with a knee to the gut. Another swung at her and missed. She countered with an elbow that sent him reeling. Then it was just her and Blakey charged. She sidestepped, she ducked, spun, and landed a punch right in his ribs. He dropped to his knees, wheezing. This ends now, she said. You don't own fear anymore. By morning, the second video, grainy dark, but unmistakably the internet. Millions watched. News outlets picked up the story. High school girl stands up to bully quarterback and wins. Blake and his crew were suspended. The school launched an anti-bullying campaign, with Zariah as the student representative. She became more than a hero, she became a movement. Her art got published in the city paper. Colleges reached out, and most importantly, the shy, soft-spoken girl with fire in her heart had rewritten the rules of power. Zariah didn't just attend prom, she owned it. Now it's your turn. Have you ever stood up against bullying or injustice? What would you have done in Zariah's shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going because the quietest voices often carry the loudest echoes.